Good morning, respected sir, and all presented here. Myself, Priyanka Jain, with my group member Akansha Sinha, Deepa Singh, Mahima Makin, Neha Sahu, and Shubham Meena. Next slide. Here we are going to present case about Satyam Computer Service Limited. Content: Introduction, faces behind the scam, rise and award of Satyam, scandal, fabricated balance sheet, auditor role and factor involved, aftermath of the scandal, investigation, victim, corporate governance issue, learning, and the conclusion. Next slide. Introduction. Satyam means truth. Why this line I introduced about Satyam Computer. June 28, 1987, Satyam Computer was founded by Ramalingan Raju and launched in Hyderabad. He started the company with 20 employees and grew rapidly. Company offer consulting service, IT and BPO services spanning various sectors. Converted company into public corporation and listed in Bombay Stock Exchange in 2001, first Indian company to be listed in International New York Stock Exchange. In 2000, declared one of the 100 top most technology by Economic Forum. Satyam Network covers 66 countries and 53,000 employees across global. IT service business included 13,120 technical services, over 300 customer worldwide, and market estimated to $400 billion. Who is Ramalingan Raj? Ramalingan Raju was born on 16 September 1954 in a family of farmer. He founded Satyam Computer and was its chairman until January 7, 2009, when he resigned from the Satyam board after admitting to the corporate fraud. Next slide. Faces behind the scam. Ramalingan Raju, founder and chairman of Satyam Computer. Rama Raju, managing director and Ramalingan brother. V. Srinivas, chief financial officer. Gopal Krishna, Price Waterhouse auditor. Thank you. Over to Deepa.
Thank you, Priyanka. So my topic is Satyam Rising and Award. Satyam Computer is launched in Hyderabad in June 24, 1987. In 1991, debuts in Bombay Stock Exchange with an IPO, oversubscribed 17 times. In 2000, first gets listed an NYSE revenue process 1 billion, and in 2008 revenue crosses 2 billion. Satyam Computer Limited was a rising star in the Indian outsource in the company. The company was formed in 1987 in Hyderabad by Mr. Ramalinga Raju. Satyam was as an example of India growing success. Satyam won numerous awards for innovation, governance, and corporate accountability. And Satyam won the award from MZ Consults for being a leader in India, CZ, and accountability. In September 2008, the World Council for Corporate Governance awarded Satyam with the Global Peacock Award for Global Excellence in Corporate Accountability. After winning the Global Peacock Award, Satyam became the centerpiece of a massive accounting fraud. Thank you. Next will Shubham.
To the scandal and how it happened and what was the mind behind this unethical fraud of Mr. Raju. On January 7, 2009, Mr. Raju disclosed in a letter as shown in exhibit as shown to Satyam Computers Limited Board of Directors that he had been manipulating the company's accounting numbers for years. The accounting fraud of over 7,800 crore rupees was not made in 1 or 2 years. It was been started from April 1999 till Raju confessed the fraud. It is India's biggest accounting fraud in history and is also known as the Enron scandal of India compared to the Enron scandal because uh, because it uh, because it hampered the whole IT sector of the country. Mr. Raju claimed that he overstated assets on Satyam's balance sheet by $1.47 billion, nearly $1.04 billion in bank loans and cash that the company claimed to own was non-existent. Satyam also underreported liability on its balance sheet so as to ensure the analytics and the shareholders that the company is in great profits and is in great hands and to meet the analyst expectations. for a number of years. Satyam overstated income nearly every quarter of the course of several years in order to meet the expectations. For example, the results announced on October 17, 2009 overstated quarterly revenues by 75% and profits by 97%. Mr. Raju and the company's global head of internal audit used a number of to different techniques to perpetrate the fraud. How he did it? Under reports line caused by capitalizing rather than expensive and inflated revenue and assets with fake entries. He inflated the revenues by generating the numerous fake accounts of customers and generating fake invoices through his own computer so that the revenues can be inflated and can be shown in higher positions. He inflated Mr. Raju falsified the bank accounts to inflate the balance sheet with balances that did not even existed. He inflated the income statement by claiming income interest from that fake bank accounts that were not non-existent. Mr. Raju also revealed that he created 6,000 fake salary accounts over the past few years and appropriated the money after the company deposits for its own personal uses. The company's global head of internal audit was also involved in this fraud. He created fake customer identities and generated fake invoices against their names to inflate revenue. The global head of internal audit also forged about board resolutions and illegally obtained loans for the company. It also appeared that the cash that the company raised through American depository receipts in the States never made it to the balance sheet, manipulating all insider trading norm and balance sheet of the company. Next slide, please. Here we can see the fabricated balance sheet and income statement of Satyam as of September 30, 2008. Here we can here easily understand that how the cash and bank balances which were actually 321 crores were reported to amount of 5,361 crores, creating a difference of 5,040 crores. Similarly, the accrued interest in bank fixed deposits, which were not even existing were nil, but he showed them at 3,765 crores. So the difference were of 376 crores. Understated liability. There was understated liability of 1,230 crores, but he showed none liability in the balance sheet, creating a difference of the same amount. Overstated debtors. He overstated the debtors of the company in the balance sheet by 161 crores, and whereas the reported was 651 crores. So the difference arised of 490 crores. Uh, he inflated the revenues on quarterly basis. The revenue of quarter two of financial year 2009 9 was actually 2112 crore and reported was 2700 crore with a whooping difference of 588 crores. The operating profits actual operating profits of the company was 61 crore, but he reported it at 649 crore and the difference arised of 588 crore. This clearly states and shows the accounting fraud and the violation of the first accounting standard, which is related to the financial statements and the uh, this showing of the presenting of the financial statements in the Indian standing accounting. Next slide, please. Now the auditor's role and factors involved which contributed to the fraud. Role of PwC. PwC auditors, the role of PwC. PwC, that is PricewaterhouseCoopers, is an independent auditing company who was severely criticized for failing to detect the fraud. PwC audited Satyam's books from June 2000 until the discovery of the fraud in 2009. Suspiciously, Satyam also paid them twice the amount of the auditing, whereas other firms would charge less for the auditing, thus raising questions on PwC whether it was involved in the fraud or not. PwC audited the company for 9 years and didn't discover the fraud, whereas Merrill Lynch did it in merely 10 days due to as part of its due diligence. The company's global head of internal audit also created a fake head of identities and generated fake invoices against their names to inflate revenue and many more illegal practices. Missing these several red flags, such as in one particular troubling item concerned the amount of $1.04 billion Satyam claimed to have on its balance sheet in non-interest bearing deposits. Such a large amount of cash should have been a signal for auditors that further verification and testing was necessary. Now moving on to the factors contributing to the fraud. Greed for money, power, competition, success, and prestige forced Mr. Raju to ride the tiger. Ambitious corporate growth for quick and easy growth and for pleasing the investors and shareholders and meeting their unrealistic returns and demands was a main factor. Lack of transparency between the company's stakeholders, investors, and shareholders was also a main factor. Audit failures, both internal and external auditing failures, weak independent directors and auditing committee, and the excessive interest in maintaining stock prices all led to the fraud. Now, Akansha will take the charge.
Thank you, Neha. Talking about aftermath of the scandal, Satyam scandal as India's own Iran scandal. Analysts in India have termed Satyam scandal as India's own Iran scandal. Merrill Lynch terminated its engagement with the company. Immediately following the news, Merrill Lynch terminated its engagement with the company and also Credit Suisse suspended its coverage of the Satyam. Criminal charges. Criminal charges were brought against Mr. Raju, including criminal conspiracy, breach of trust, forgery, fraud, and falsification of record. New board of directors for Satyam. The government appointed a new board of directors for Satyam to try to save the company. The board's goal was to sell the company within 100 days. Auction process of Satyam. SEBI appointed a retired Supreme Court Justice Baruja, to oversee the process, and many companies bid on Satyam on April 13, 2019. Tech Mahindra bought Satyam, and at last, the winning bidder, that is Tech Mahindra, bought Satyam for $1.13 per share, and the stock has again stabilized as a part of Tech Mahindra. Satyam once again in a bright future ahead. Tech Mahindra purchased 51% of Satyam on April 16, 2009. Next slide, please. Investigation, criminal and civil charges. Criminal charges on Mr. Raju and his brother B. Rama Raju, its former managing director Srinivas Vadlamani, the company's head of the internal audit, and its CFO on criminal charges of fraud. Indian authorities charged several of the company's auditor PwC with fraud. CBI also investigated the CEO's overseas assets. Several civil charges filed in the United States against both Satyam by the holders of ADRs. Both civil and criminal litigation cases continue in India, and civil litigation continues in the United States. That's all for me. From my side, over to Neha.
Thank you, Akansha. Now, the victims of the scandal. The Satyam scandal shook the whole country and internationally also. But some of the main and direct victims of this fraud were, importantly, the employees of Satyam, who spent anxious moments and sleepless nights as they faced non-payment of salaries and project cancellations. The clients of Satyam who expressed loss of trust and reviewed their contracts, preferring to go with other competitors. Shareholders lost their valuable investments, and there was doubt about revival of India as a preferred investment destination. Bankers were concerned about discovery of financial and about recovery of financial and non-financial exposure and recall facilities, and nonetheless, Indian government was worried about its image of nation and IT sector affecting faith to invest or to invest in business in the country and the foreign direct investments. Thank you. Now Mahima will take the charge.
Thank you, Neha. Now we will see the corporate governance issues faced by Satyam. On a quarterly basis, Satyam earnings grew. Mr. Raju admitted that the fraud which he had committed amounted to rupees $276 million. In this process, Satyam violated all the rules. It was the non-fulfillment of obligation towards the shareholder. It was a poor corporate governance. It failed to show good relationship with the employees, delivering the falsified documents and inflated financial report, and non-payment of the advance taxes to the government. If there would be a good corporate governance, there should be distinguished role of board and management, separation of the roles of the CEO and the chairman, appointment of the board, directors and executives compensation, protection of the shareholders' rights and their executive. Next slide. The 2009 Satyam scandal in India highlighted the criminal potential of an improperly governed corporate leader. As the fallout continues and the effects were felt throughout the global economy, the prevailing hope is that some good can come from the scandal in terms of lesson learned. Here are some lesson learned from Satyam scandal. Investigate all inaccuracies. The fraud scheme at Satyam started at very small. A lot of fraud schemes initially start out small, thinking that small changes here and there would not make a big difference and is likely to be detected. This sends a message to a lot of companies. If your accounts are not balancing or if something is inaccurate, just a tiny bit also, it is worth investigating. Dividing responsibilities across a team of people make it easier to detect irregularities and misappropriated funds. Ruined reputation. Fraud does not just look bad on a company, it looks bad on the whole industry or a country. India's biggest corporate scandal in the memory threatens future foreign investment. Now became the Satyam scandal. Indian rivals will come under great scrutiny by the regulators, investors, and the customers. Corporate governance needs to be stronger. All the public companies must be careful while selecting executives and the top level managers. These are the people who set the tone of the company. If there is corruption at the top, it needs to be trickled down. Also separate the role of CEO and the chairman of the board. Splitting the roles thus helps avoid situation like the one at Satyam. The Satyam Computer Services scandal brought the light of the importance of ethics and relevance to the corporate culture. Next slide. The culture at Satyam, especially dominated by the board, symbolizes an unethical culture. On one hand, his rise to the stardom in the corporate world, coupled with immense pressure to impress the investors, made Mr. Raju compelled leader to deliver outstanding results. On the contrary, Mr. Raju had to suppress his own morals and values in favor of greater good of the company. His acceptance of guilt and blame for the whole fiasco shows a spot of an otherwise tampered character. Undoubtedly, the government of India took prompt actions to protect the interest of the investors and safeguard the credibility of India and the nation's image across the world. In addition, the corporate governance framework needs to be strengthened, implemented both in letter as well as in the right spirit, and enforced vigorously to curb the white collar crime. That's all from our side. Thank you.